What's up everybody, KingGBL here, and welcome back to some KingGBL League. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing a strong run I made from 2302 all the way up to 2526. I've been using a very strong team with double steel. I highly recommend trying it out. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we do hop into it. Drop a like in the video. We should be about top 100 in the world with this team. I think easily maybe even top 50. I want to see a cool, easy 100 likes in this video. Next, if you're not subscribed, what the you doing? What the you doing? Drop a like, no, subscribe. Matthew, Nathan, what the With all that being said, the team is Azu in the lead, Reggie and Sandslash in the back. In the first set of battles, you're going to see Focus Blast, you're going to see Flash Cannon later on. I noticed a lot of dragons were no-shielding the moves from Reggie, especially the likes of Dragapult and Giratina. I put on Flash Cannon later on, and it was so handy in a few cases. Just the fact that you've got a cheaper move than Focus Blast makes it worth it in and of itself. If you're seeing a lot of dragons, or if you safe swap Reggie, they come into Flygon or something like that, or especially Giratina and Dragapult, Flash Cannon worked really well for that, and that's the moveset I used to hit veterans, so I do recommend it. By the way guys, we're on Hydro Pump on the Azu. You could run Ice Beam, you could run Hydro Pump. I think Hydro Pump is very useful for this team. On the graphic it says Ice Beam, you can run either of these moves. I do think Hydro Pump currently is a little bit better. I've noticed recently Flygon is way less common, and you don't really need Ice Beam as much, so definitely consider putting it on Hydro Pump. Also, the Pokemon you see on screen right now, Geoeasy, is quite an awkward Pokemon for this team, so having Hydro Pump that can basically one-shot it, and having Flash Cannon on Reggie, which is a lot faster and outpaces the Overheat. Bearing in mind that one Overheat does not knock out a Reggie, Flash Cannon works out really well for that matchup in particular. Anyway guys, the opponent Brave Birds meme, we farm it all the way down, and that's going to be GG's. Hopping into the first full battle here, we have Azu versus Sandslash. I like to stay in here completely. The opponent's going to go for either 7 and fro or 10 and fro. Whatever way they do it, it's perfectly fine. I prefer when they 7 and fro because it's a bit easier to see if they're going to catch or not. What I've done here is pause the turn. What a lot of players like doing against Azu is basically building up to the move, throwing it, and then they'll one and swap, right? Because I'll do one bubble for good timing. People know that I'll do the one bubble. They'll do one of their fast moves, swap in and catch it on something. In this case, the opponent actually let it go, and they come into a Giratina. This is perfect for me. I've got a Sandslash waiting in the back. I can get a shield back off the opponent here, and if the opponent doesn't throw right away, we can look to get the final shield. They throw here on the Ominous Wind, and we're going to go into Sandslash, start Powder Snowing the oblivion out of it. Oh, by the way, I should mention Powder Snow. You could go for Shadow Claw if you think it's a little bit better for Azu, but I think Powder Snow is really useful. You'll see a lot of Pokemon where Powder Snow is just much preferred. Flygon, it still exists in this cup, it's less common, but you can farm the thing the whole way down with Powder Snow. Also, there is a little bit of grass in this cup, floating around here and there, Whimsicott, Shinotic, or whatever the hell it's called, and a few other things that you want Powder Snow for. I think I just prefer it overall. You still need free moves to knock out an Azu anyway, and just having fast move pressure for dragons I thought was super useful. Also, the whole reason I'm using this team is because I kept seeing Wiggly in the back. There was this team going around for a while, where it was like Turtonator in the front, Wiggly in the back. It was basically just destroying me every time with my Dragapult, just having nowhere to go basically. This has worked really well for me. To be fair, like, the fairies in the back have really dried up since I started running double steel, but in general, having the Powder Snow for Wigglytuff is also quite handy. So let's see how this matchup plays out. We build all the way up, the opponent is 10 and fro for good timing here. Do I pause or do I go for the 1 and fro? I pause once again, right? Make sure the opponent does not catch the move. They shield it this time, and we're going to see how this plays out this time. If you have a high ranked Azu, you can take 2 of these moves. I would recommend going for Play Rough on the second time around, just because you don't make it to the next move. They go for the catch, they come into Clefable, and this is great. We've got 2 answers in the back, so we're going to come into Sandslash on this occasion. The reason I came into Sandslash on this occasion is because I can tank this move. Of course, Reggie walls this, right? But I want to get energy so I can look to drill run the opponent's Sandslash. They're coming into Clefable. I'm expecting this to be double fairy. I'm expecting Azu in the back. Registeel is way more comfortable into Azu than Sandslash. As you've seen, I actually stay in against Sandslash with my own Azu, so it's not really a bad matchup. I'd prefer to come out with energy, threaten the one-shot with Sandslash, and then look to try to sweep it up with Reggie. So yep, the opponent comes in, they throw the move, and yep, it is actually Wigglytuff in the back. That's going to be a good game as well played. This is the exact reason I built this team. I just kept seeing Wiggly in the back. I think I went 1 for my first set the other day, running like Azu and Dragapult in the back. I was so tired of seeing Wiggly and Gramble in the back. Yes, Gramble, I'm saying Grambles in this cup. I can assure you that Gramble exists in this cup. People are running Gramble out here. So, really interesting lead. We get Azu versus Azu. What I like to do is basically build up of Azu. Normally if the opponent is not throwing 6 or 7, they throw on 8. Try to catch it on 8 if the opponent's not throwing. If they do throw, just stay in and tank the move, and then you can basically come into Reggie. Most players have a high rank Azu, so they don't always go for CMP right away, and they're not trying to throw their move immediately at high elos. Just in case you do decide to catch immediately, they don't really do that. So basically in that matchup, what I like to do is either catch the move on 8, or take the play rough on Azu if they throw pretty early, and then come into Reggie right away. That means you're banking like a Hydro Pump worth of energy, and as you can see, we're putting it to use here. We're going to come in with Azu, we're going to hit him with the Hydro Pump, bang, we're going to farm this the whole way down. We're even ahead on energy still, because of course we caught the move. Well, we're not quite ahead in energy, the opponent just slightly outpaces here. But we're up a shield. We keep the Reggie for potential sacrificial swap, and I'm pretty much happy to stay in here. Azu is very annoying for Sand Slash, and a lot more Azus are running Hydro Pump. I go for the extra one here. I think I might consider swapping out at this point. If the opponent leaves themselves where they're fairly energy dry, that's basically the time to go into Sand Slash. The opponents did have a little bit of residual energy. This will only be a play rough. I have to take it. I'm going to do 4 and fro here, which will be hopefully enough to knock them out or put them into farm down range. The opponent's not swapping out, so they must have something pretty bad in the back. We're absolutely loaded in energy. The opponent comes into Caesar. I'm going to go for this drill run right away. This will look to not quite one-shot them, but very, very close to it. I'm going to continue powder snowing. The opponent farms me down here. This is a little bit awkward. I actually bubble him down and come out with the move for the Sand Slash. That's good games well played. We play rough, we zero bubble it, we come into Reggie and we can lock on down. GG's well played. This season, I decided to take the game a lot more seriously. I'm trying to push the leaderboards, but I will still be BMing opponents. Once again, we have the Azu mirror. We'll see how we play it out this time. Does the opponent throw first? Do they go for that? Yeah, so they throw on 7, right? They think they lose CMP, they go for the extra, I don't throw, so they throw first. I come into Reggie, they come into an Excadrill. You need to draw out a Pokemon out of the back with Reggie. I'm gonna go for Zap Cannon hoping to get a debuff. I think if I get a debuff, I can basically make it to 2 moves. I don't think I got the debuff right there, unfortunately, and we don't make it to the move. This is really bad. I do have energy in Azu, which is kind of what we're trying to do. We get denied. This game is absolutely terrible. The amount of times I've got denied on 1 turn bring in recently. And then I overtap, bro. This game is so frustrating. This game has been so frustrating recently. Hydro Pump going in, they let it go. They come into Azu, they come into Dugtrio, and that's GG's. I haven't seen this team that much, but if you see this team, it's basically curtains. It's one of the reasons where you sort of do need to build up some energy with Azu, get out, and try to do something with it, get shield advantage or something. Unfortunately, I couldn't CMP the move, and then I decided to go for the extra, so it was just a complete mess. So we have Azu versus Wiggly here, Bunny versus Bunny. We have 2 answers to this, so I'm going to build up a move here. I'm going to build up to the Hydro Pump, try to catch potential Icy Wind, Disarming Voice, Swift, whatever the opponent might throw. They go for a Swift here, and we draw out Dragapult. Now this is kind of one of the reasons where I was like, you know what, bro? If I was running Flash Cannon, these kids would be getting absolutely smoked, because they let that move go. They know they can take it, they're not expecting Flash Cannon usually. Funny enough, actually, the first set I was using this, one of the Dragapult shielded Flash Cannon, which is pretty insane, even though I built up to the Zap. The opponent gets off another move here. This is pretty unfortunate, but pretty fine here. I'm thinking, is it very double Ghost? Or is it like normal double Ghost, right? I'm thinking, is this Giratina? Does Sand Slash just completely wreck this whole team? They come into the Wigglytuff again. This is really weird. They must have double Ghost or something else that's weak to Sand Slash. They no shield the move. I'm like, okay, if it is a Ghost, my Azu can deal with it. A Swift coming in, and they come into Flygon. We're gonna let Flygons be bygones. You know I absolutely love saying that. Once again, guys, having Azu banked energy is so good. At this point, the opponent says, GG's well played. To be honest with you, you're not going to run into teams that are that easy to beat most of the time, but once again, getting that Azu energy, banking it, and getting out is so crucial. Now this is a really difficult matchup. I've only managed to beat Dragapult lead a handful of times. It's a very difficult one. They try to catch the Ice Beam, they bank 5 Astonishes, and then they come into Sand Slash. We go for the big Hydro Pump. The opponent gets absolutely melted by it. They will get off one move, and they do have a big energy lead. However, now we're getting our Sand Slash on the Dragapult, so this could be very fine for us now. This could be an opportunity for us to actually beat Dragapult, which is very rare. They come in here, they should go for Shadow Ball. I think they actually go for Breaking Swipe here, which is just a complete potato play. I'm not sure what that's all about. We get off a play rough, and they farm us the whole way down here, which is perfectly fine. We're up a shield, we've got Sand Slash on this. We're going to start obliterating it with Powder Snow. I decide to shield this move, because the opponent's pretty desperate, I think, at this point. We go for 4 and fro for good timing. The fact that they only throw the Breaking Swipe sort of indicates that they're kind of weak to this. They come into the Slap Boy. Oh, I might still lose this, unfortunately. Can I still win this match? Let's have a look here. Do I go for a Zap Cannon? I go for a Focus Blast, okay. So you probably could beat the Zap Cannon, try to get the debuff. That might be like a win con of mine. They're gonna farm me the whole way down. GG's. So I think the way I could have won that battle is probably try to commit to the farm down, get off 2 moves with Sand Slash on the Excadrill. Mud Slappers in the back are definitely very difficult for this team, as you'd imagine. Thankfully, they've not been super common. The opponent goes for free and throw, they go for like an overheat and dip here, which I'm perfectly fine to take. They come into Azu. Whenever you get an Azu safe swap, always build up with your own Azu and then go to Reggie. In previous iterations of Fantasy Cup, what I like doing with Reggie is going for a Zap Cannon and then going for a great Focus Blast. So undercharge the Focus Blast, lock on all the way down. With the 50-second switch clock, I've stopped doing that because they can basically just swap straight out here at this point. Previously, whenever there was 10 seconds left on the clock, the opponent sort of had to play alignment in a funny way. Now if you misalign the clock, it can be very detrimental to you. The opponent ends up swapping out because of course we misaligned slightly here. We go for Focus Blast, come into the Azu. I was going to commit to the Bubble Down and I realised I'm not going to make it, so I have to throw the player off. Pretty unfortunate. We do knock it out though, which is fine. and we'll see what the opponent has in the back. I think we're in a very good position here with all 3 Pokemon up, and they come into Gramble! I told you it exists! I told you! I was not lying, this thing is actually effing in this cup. Gramble in the back, charming everything down, it's madness. Believe it or not, this thing can beat Registeel in the 2s, this thing is stupid, bro. What I do here is come in, I think Shield, oh, they actually make a really nice catch in Azu. I'll go for a Zero Bubble here, and look to come in with Sandslash anyway. But yeah, Gramble's a crazy Pokemon, it beats Reggie in the 2s, if they get a Crunch debuff. Such a dumbass Pokemon, but we're going to take it out here. This doggo's getting Powder Snow down, and yeah, that's going to be, like I said, curtains for them. So I definitely found around 2400 elo. There was a lot of these, bro. A lot of Wigglies in the back, a lot of Grambles, and as I got further up, I didn't really see them as much. Quite an interesting lead here. Giratina is quite awkward for this whole team. They can basically run through Azu. This thing is so good into Azu. I don't recommend shielding the first move necessarily. What I like to do here is watch for the catch, come into Registeel on the Azu. This is one of the behaviors that I was showcasing in my previous video. I actually talked about it a little bit earlier on in this video. You go 7 and throw, 1 and swap, catch the move, GG's, right? You misalign the clock, you escape with energy, that's what Giratinas like to do in the lead against Azu. I'm patient enough, I don't fall for it, I like to go for free and throw after they throw the Shadow Ball. And something that you're able to do, if you pay close enough attention now, whenever you do a 1 and throw, you can see their second move coming through. If you're patient enough and if you watch carefully enough, you can see that. Now in these situations here, I never let them Shadow Claw me down, I just come in and snipe with the Azu. Because we can basically outpace them to 2 moves here. Of course we're up a shield, right, so we can sort of outpace them if we want to. They go for a Bozo Wind. They go for a Bozo Wind, we go for the Player Off once again, and we're chilling. That doesn't quite one-shot them. We're going to wait down our switch timer and look to... Actually, we don't wait our switch clock, we just snipe it as quickly as possible. The opponent says, nah, that's enough, that's enough. They must have something quite weak in the back. Azu in the front, we're going to do the exact same thing here. Build all the way up to 7 or 8 bubbles. If they don't throw an 8, catch an 8. I actually for some reason tried to catch on 7 there. You know, it's just a guessing game, right? It is literally just a guessing game. They come into Dragapult, and again I'm like, bruh, if I had Flash Cannon, these Dragapults would just be getting sent back to the Pokeball. We go for Zap Cannon. Do we get a debuff here? I can't quite notice, to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter that much. We'll take the Shadow Ball, or the Bozo Swipe if the opponent decides to throw it, the Shadow Ball, farm us all the way down. And because they have so much energy here, I'm just trying to get rid of them as soon as possible. They only make it to a Breaking Swipe, so we just tank this right here. We'll farm it all the way down with Sandslash and see what they want to do here. They come into Azu here. I think once again I'm going to try and catch the move. I go for a snipe with my own Azu. This actually misaligns the clock as well, so we get to see what's in the back most likely, or just get heavy damage on the Azu. We actually get our second move off, so with getting these 2 moves off, we've misaligned the clock already by like 30 seconds. Look at my switch timer, we're misaligned by 30 seconds. They come into their Skarmory. Of course, they've got us energy dry. I'm going to go for the Pumpening here. We're going to hit them with it. We're not messing around. We're not baiting. Bang! Okay, they shield. Well, that's unfortunate. They have to Brave Bird here, and if they Brave Bird, I can Ice Punch and farm all the way down, so we know shield that move. I'm going to look to try and bank a Play Rough, maybe? Okay, bank a Play Rough. Go for a Snipe. I really like this play. We've got almost 2 moves here. Ice Punch number 1. I sort of do have to respect this, unfortunately. They do go for a Sky Attack, which makes sense to come in with the Azu. I think we have to shield this as well. Now, the opponent's win con is Azu. If they decide to shield this, I think I'm cooked. Luckily for me though, the opponent lets that move go. That is really fortunate for me, because I can just basically Powder Snow all the way down. There's nothing the opponent can really do about it. I think if the opponent shields the Azu, they might have still lost the battle, but I think they have a much better chance of winning it there. Anyway guys, we're looking pretty decent here. At this point in the video, we're up to about 2350 here. I had some pretty up and down battles the other day. I was going like 4-1-0-5, 4-1-1-4. I was having a bit of an up and down time. It wasn't really until today until I made a huge climb, which is whenever I put on Flash Cannon. This team was climbing slow and steady with Focus Blast, but whenever I put on Flash Cannon, it made a huge difference, I think. Clefable here, this is just absolutely horrible for the opponent. I don't think Clefable is particularly good in this cup, and I don't think I'd recommend running it. Flash Cannon would be nice here. We could basically put it into lock on down range. Or actually, that would just one-shot them. They're pretty glassy. We can lock on down at this stage, but look how well Clefable's doing, actually. I give them a huge energy lead. They're almost taking me out here. I decide to bank the move and come out and snipe. If you think about that play right there, the opponent's Clefable was super low. That's a nuke, right? I'm throwing a nuke at them. That's a lot of energy just to waste on that one small low-health Pokemon. So I decide to come in, get the Powder Snow down, and see if the Zap Cannon or Focus Blast for whatever's in the back. They have to have some sort of an answer for Steel in the back, so I'm really curious what it is. I thought it might be a Sandslash, could be a Lucario. It actually is a Sandslash. We do make it to the move, we just outpace the opponent here, which is perfect. I've got a Focus Blast banged, I've got a Hydro Pump on the Azu. We're just absolutely chilling here. Bang, we come in with Azu. The opponent recognized their win con being just to call a move, but I just knew that I had enough moves in enough different places that I didn't have to bait them. Giratina lead once again, very awkward. We're going to try to play this the same way. We're going to tank the Shadow Ball. We're going to look to do free and throw here. They 7 and throw. I can free and throw for good timing here. They go for the catch on their own Azu. I build up to 100 energy, come into Reggie. And even if they're on Hydro Pump, this is fine. You will get 2-shot by Hydro Pump if you've got a very bad Reggie, but if you have any sort of trade IVs, you're fine. This one in this case is on play rough, so we don't have to worry about it whatsoever. And once again, I don't plan on messing around with this Azu doing undercharges or anything. I just want to get rid of it. Keep on spamming out play roughs. They could swap out, they could just let me take them out. We'll see what they want to do here. I don't recommend swapping out on their point. It's kind of a good swap out because they tank all of this energy, but I can come in with my Azu, start sniping it with play roughs. I just got a huge energy lead on the first matchup, and we can outpace the 2 moves here. At this stage, we're happy to let the Azu go. They most likely go for a Bozo Wind anyway. Well, actually, a Bozo Wind is not really a Bozo Wind in this case because they can farm me down. So it's probably better to go for a Bozo Wind here, to be honest with you. That does knock me out anyway. They get the boost. I'm forced to come into Sand Slash here, of course. I'm pretty much forced to shield all of these moves. They go for another Ominous Wind, and we're going to look to get rid of them. They were getting fairly close to another move, I think. So I'm just happy to get rid of them at that stage. Yep, the opponent concedes the match, and that's going to be good games. So as you can see, if we can just avoid that catch on the Giratina, we're basically fine. Hopping into the next battle, we have Skarmory in the lead. They can build all the way up to 10 for the move, which outpaces my Hydro Pump. I decide to try and catch it in Reggie, because again, we're banking Azu energy. They end up throwing a move here anyway, which is perfect. They might not have an amazing answer to this. They're staying in for a while, and okay, they actually catch it on a Wigglytuff. That's pretty insane. Whatever this team is, it is super weak to Registeel. So it's making me think, bro, do I need to just kind of preserve this low key? Or do I kind of trust that Sand Slash can take care of it? They obviously shield something here, right? Yeah, I decide to catch an Azu. I'm preserving the Reggie. This is perfect for me. Because I built up a lot of energy, I'll be able to Hydro Pump the Skarmory when they come back. I end up going for play rough here, looking to get rid of the Wigglytuff, and we'll see what the opponent wants to do here. Most likely brings in Skarmory, goes for a Brave Bird or a Sky Attack. Do I shield here? I think this is a bad shield, honestly. I think I should have let that go, because if they go for the Brave Bird, I can Powder Snow down. I don't think that was a good shield necessarily, but we Hydro Pump, they let it go. They come into this thing, we come into our Sand Slash, and we can basically match them for damage, right? Double super effective versus double super effective. 2 glassy Pokemon, we pretty much just take each other out. By the way guys, if you're still at this point in the video, I'm gonna really try my best to fix my mic today, because there's like a little buzzing sound in the background. I'm sorry if that's really annoying, and also my mic is just picking up too many sounds that I don't want, so I will try to fix that if you guys are getting a little bit pissed off by it. I do apologise, it annoys me as well, so let me know if that's been something you've been noticing. Anyway guys, we're on to the Flash Cannon hype at this point. There are a few matchups which are significantly worse with Flash Cannon. For example, the Steel types, the ground steals, like you're gonna lose to them anyway, so like having a Flash Cannon's honestly not that bad. They come into Flygon, I go for a big Snipe here. I always do this, like I said, I never let them farm me down and just get a bunch of energy lead. They come into Sand Slash, are they gonna double shield here? I'm gonna go for Hydro Pump, it's not gonna knock them out, but it's gonna put them into bubble down range. And it's basically GG's at this point. The main difference between limited metas and Open Great League is, you don't really have to hold alignment as much in limited metas. Energy leads are everything, especially in this cup. Do they go for the Bozo Claw? The opponent goes for the Scorching Sands, that's respectable, but we're going to come in, Powder Snow all the way down. And honestly guys, a Flygon lead is like an insta-win for me. Toga taking the lead, really interesting lead. Very cool Pokemon here. We both simul swap. They come into the Tin Can, I come into the other Tin Can. This is fine because they have to debuff themselves if they want to do anything here. Superpower, that's perfectly fine, we go for a Zap Cannon. It only costs 1 more lock on. If they superpower again, I could probably get away with going for Flash Cannon. I think I survived this, especially because I debuffed them. They've no reason not to throw it here. We're going to go for probably a Flashy. I decided to shield this move, and I think I threw Flash Cannon here. Let's have a look. Okay, I actually do commit to the Zap Cannon. This is fine. This should look to knock them out. They actually decide to shield again, which is really interesting. They bring in their own Tin Can. We're going to look to get off a Hydro Pump here. They just about outpace me, unfortunately. I decide not to shield here. I think Sand Slash can basically clean up here at this stage. They have a Togu taking the lead. Melmetal will make it to another move, so we do have to keep the shield at this point. The opponent will end up throwing the move here just before I reach the next player off. This is really awkward, man. This is super awkward. They go for Zap Cannon, not messing around. I think Focus Blast would have done it there. They come into Metal, go for this. To be honest with you, I got a little bit off track on energy here. I think I'm an insta-throwing Andy on this. I go for this right away. I'm just kind of hoping that I can outpace the Reggie. I don't think they build up too much over, so I'm just praying that I can either CMP it or just outpace them. They come into Reggie here. We do make it to the move. The switch clock must not have been quite up yet. We go for a drill run. This will look to knock them out, and that's going to be good games. I played that battle pretty poorly, I think, but we were able to win it in the end. We're up to 24-37 with that 3-2. And towards the end of the video, we actually do end up getting a 5-0, which is beautiful here. As you lead, this is pretty normal, right? We know what to do. Bubble, bubble, bubble. If they don't throw by the time they get to 8, we'll catch it on Reggie. They throw immediately. They're an insta-throwing Andy, as I like to call it. This is fine. Player off coming in. They probably win CMP, so they're pretty confident in going for that right away. They build up a little bit extra and they come into Berserker. I don't think they should have given me such an energy lead, because we're up a full Zap Cannon here basically at this point. We get a debuff. I am not shielding this move. The opponent will have to throw 2 moves no matter what, so we're perfectly fine with this. They go for close combat, makes sense. I commit to the Zap and then decide I should go for the other move. I think I should have just went for the other move straight away. Bit of a misplay. I've been making some potato plays this last couple of battles here. We get a flash cannon off, and do I decide to let this go at this stage or do I shield? I think I decide to let it go and just pump up with Azu and try to sweep up with Sand Slash. I'm expecting double steal. We run and throw here. I was half expecting to catch on their own Azu. If they'd done that, I think they win this battle, to be honest with you. They come into Azu. Once again, we're trying to leave this fairly dry. Yep, they go for the move right away. This is kind of another reason why you want to overfarm with Azu quite a lot. They come into their own Sand Slash. This is kind of still awkward because I'm in Powder Snow. So I still have to throw 2 moves. If the opponent baits me, they might be able to catch up on energy, but I think I'll still outpace by 1 here. They go for Ice Punch, completely makes sense. I was totally anticipating it, but of course I shit my pants and shielded anyway. Drill Run coming in, and I think we're okay. We've got a lot of energy in Azu. If they go for Hydro Pump, we're in trouble here, but thankfully they do go for Play Rough here. I can 1 and throw, I'm not messing around whatsoever. I just want to get guaranteed damage on this thing. I'm going to throw in Bad Timing in the next one, just to basically put them into Play Rough range. Azu versus Azu. If you're in the yellow health, you survive a move no matter what. We'll come in, go for this move right away, and that's going to be good games. I always recommend, if you're playing limited metas, try to come up with your own strategies for these teams. My strategy with this is like, in the lead, we're going to bank a bunch of energy and get out. Now, you'll see a really interesting play that I've done there. I came straight into my hard answer against Dragapult. I've done that a few times, and that's been one of the only ways I've learned to beat this Pokemon. Basically, the goal for me is to get an energy lead with Azu. Because I'm not on Ice Beam, they beat me in the 2-shield or every even shielding scenario. So that's kind of the goal here. Get energy with Azu or Reggie, which of course is now in Flash Cannon, and that way we can look to deal with it. The opponent's getting a little bit too low for my liking here. I end up knocking them out. This is not great, honestly. They farm me down, I come in with Azu. This is not great, this is still not great. Ideally, you want to get an energy lead, but we didn't get it there. They go for Shadow Ball, which is good. These bubbles are chunking, by the way, so I'm like, you know what, maybe this is fine. Maybe I can just 2-shield here anyway, no matter what. Even if they do outpace me, just 2-shield it, and basically look to bubble it down. If I let this go now and come into Reggie, these lock-ons are going to do exactly 1 damage each. They'll be getting off Astonish after Astonish, they'll get off Breaking Swipes, Shadow Balls, they'll completely destroy my Reggie. These bubbles are chipping them, and this is actually in a pretty decent position now where the opponent's dry. They're still forced to go for Shadow Ball. We can come in with Reggie and look to commit to a lock-on down. Sadly, the opponent makes it to a dying Shadow Ball, and I think I'm just basically cooked here, but they have Skarmory in the back. I think I can still win this, especially because I'm using this moveset, right? I just about outpaced the opponent here with Flash Cannon. The opponent would be just getting to the move here, or maybe after 1 Steel Wing, but we can just about outpace it with Flash Cannon. We can lock on down the Dragapult, and that's good games well played. So as I mentioned, not necessarily having Flash Cannon specifically was the help, sometimes just having the cheaper move was the help. Okay, once again we have Flygon lead. I think they're in Mudshot here, if I'm not mistaken. They go for the move here. I'm anticipating the catch. I'm not going to throw after one like a bozo here. Yep, they go for the catch on Azu. I build up 100 energy, come into Reggie, and this is good. If the opponent has Hydro Pump, of course it'll chunk. I will be trying to fish for a debuff. My Reggie can take 2 Hydro Pumps, just about with the bubble damage. Or honestly, maybe it can't. Maybe I need a debuff. Okay, we do get a debuff. Now that we've got the debuff, we can definitely take it. I'm not going to take another Hydro Pump because I can get off a Flash Cannon on their Flygon. I can threaten a lot of damage on them here. I'm actually trying to escape. I come in, I accidentally go for an extra bubble. We go for a Play Rough here. This will look to knock them out if they let it go. I decide, yeah, I think I can just shield up this move. I can make it to another one, and then we can look to farm it down with Sand Slash. Try to sweep whatever's in the back with Sand Slash and Reggie. They actually let it through. They come into gear. Oh, sorry, Dragapult. We don't make it to the move. Oh, the opponent froze the move here. The opponent thought I was going to be an Ice Beam. Oh, that's a huge let off right there. We come into Sand Slash. They immediately top left. We just start farming the life out of them. If they were on 6 there, that would have been trouble. Sand Slash in the lead. This is pretty much where we want to see it, to be honest with you. I don't like the Sand Slash mirror. They go for the catch here. Listen, if you're ever Azu in that situation and the opponent's not for a move yet, by the time you reach a Hydro Pump, don't throw it, just go for the extra. It's a pretty obvious catch at that point. I'm surprised because they normally do throw in 10 and then go for a catch. I think the reason the opponent might have done that is because they've experienced getting Hydro Pumped on that before and they just want to try to catch it. They don't want to risk it because, you know, sometimes people do the 1 and throws, sometimes people throw immediately, you just have to try to guess what the opponent's trying to do. But this is great at this point. Do we still have a Drill Run from Non-Shadow? Actually, I decide to catch here. This is a great catch. And the best thing about it is we do manage to CMP the Hydro Pump. This is fantastic. Not only would this do heavy damage, but this misaligns the switch clock in my favor as well. They end up letting it go, concede the match, and that's going to be good games. Hopping into the next one, we have Giratina. This match started super quickly, by the way. I didn't edit it properly, but that's fine. It's going to play it the same way as before. I shield the Shadow Ball, okay. And then I go for a 1 and throw, okay. What is all this? What is all this? This is interesting. I'm going to tank the next one. Why did I shield that? That's quite interesting. I'm playing this a little bit differently. Maybe I just had some bad experiences with Giratina. This is quite interesting. Then I come into Sand Slash. What am I doing right here? I'm surprising myself right here. Okay, they come into Azu, makes sense. They get my shield, come into Azu. If they're in Hydro Pump, this will be interesting. By the way, I'm not walking while playing, I'm just getting some phone drift, I presume. which is why that's popping up on the bottom left. But we do get heavy damage free here, and I'm hoping that maybe the energy in Azu will be good, or maybe I can just get a ton of energy with Reggie. Oh, I come in with Reggie. I build all the way up to the Hydro Pump. Bang! Catch the move on Azu. I don't know why I played this so differently this time, but as you can see, it's kind of working out. We draw back out the Giratina, we go for Flash Cannon immediately, and if they don't have a hard answer to this will be basically GG's. We'll outpace the Azu, they're completely dry. If they have another fairy in the back, it's looking to get pretty much one shot. They come into Skarmory Farmery here. It's about to meet the Zap Cannon head on. This will not quite one shot as you've seen earlier, but it does enough damage to basically win the game. They even get the attack drop just to really add insult to injury. So that's really interesting. So you're seeing like a different way to play that match out, which I guess is very useful information anyway. If you do want to try and play it differently, there are different ways to play around it. Honestly, I can't remember the exact reason why I decided to play it out like that, but if you ever get a situation where you keep losing to a specific Pokemon in the lead, just try to play it out differently and maybe it'll work out like that sometimes. Caesar is so awkward, man. Thankfully they throw. I was tempted to shield here, but it looks like I might be on 1 HP. I'm probably not on 1 HP quite, and I'm going to come in here and try to farm it all the way down with Reggie. Or at the very least, I want to tank all the energy, come in with Sand Slash and look to get a farm down. I think what I decided to do here is bank the Zap Cannon, look to swap out to Sand Slash and look to get an energy lead, because again, we don't want to be throwing a massive move on that thing. They come into their own tin can. This is perfect. Hopefully they're not in Flash Cannon, because that gives them a much cheaper move to work with. The opponent will get off a move here, they get it off in good timing, and I'm going to look to of course shield everything. They do go Zap Cannon, which would not quite one shot, but it may as well one shot me, so I just have to shield everything. They're hunting for the debuff, they don't get it the first time around. They actually let the Reggie go, which kind of surprised me at the time, and they come back into Flygon. Flygons will be bygones. They go for a catch, which I was never going to throw a move on anyway. At that point, I was basically committed to farming the whole team down. Empoleon lead has been awkward for me as well. We'll see how we play this out. Empoleon's very, very tricky. Even though it was nerfed last season, it's still very decent in this cup. I've had occasions where I go for Hydro Pump, still can't bubble it down anyway, and need to throw a second move, so I decided to throw Play Rough here to basically force the opponent's energy sooner. That was the thinking here. Maybe I should have went Hydro Pump, but maybe this is somewhat manageable. I mean, if Empoleon becomes super common in this cup suddenly, you're going to want to run Shadow Claw, but there's only like 2 days left of the cup, so it doesn't really matter that much, I don't think. Yeah, I think I just decided to get rid of this thing, bro. Just Ice Punch it, get rid of it, see if we can sweep in the back. I think that's basically the thinking here at this stage. They come into Azu, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's Steel Double Fairy. Can I maybe get a little bit of a cheeky catch here? Chip this into Zap Cannon range, get a little catch or something. We do get a nice little catch, you'll love to see it. We catch a Play Rough here, we got some energy banked on the Sand Slash, and we'll see what the opponent wants to bring in. They ain't bringing in nothing, bro. They ain't bringing in nothing. They're staying in, and they're throwing Play Roughs right away. Okay, this has to be Skarmory. It's Skarmory in the back, I'm calling it now. They let the move go, and then they bring in Skarmory. I mean, this is GG's at this point. First of all, they should have probably shielded Azu. They had 2 shields, so might as well have used it. This thing is incredibly slow to moves, and I just think this Pokemon is complete copium. I think whenever the name has completely left me, it's on the loading screen of the game, the new Pokemon that's coming, it's a Steel Flying type. Whenever it comes, bro, it'll come back to me. Whenever it comes, it might be decent, but I think Skarmory's days are done here, basically at this point. We get the win, we get the 5-0, and you absolutely love to see it, folks. We're hitting Veterans super early in the season, and I'm very excited for the leaderboards to update. I may not play too much next week, but we're up to 25-26. Give the team a try, and hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, it's absolutely free. Once again, big thank you for the support, it's super appreciated, and big thank you, big shout out to everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If you have any questions about the team, feel free to hit me up on Discord in the description down below, or of course drop a comment on the video. Big thank you everybody, and I'll catch you all next time.